All right. Good afternoon, and thank you for joining us this afternoon. To everyone with us via Facebook Live and with us in the webinar itself, it's an important discussion that we're about to have. So I'm thankful that you took time out of your day to be with us. My name is Ryan Weyandt. I'm the CEO, the proud CEO of the LGBTQ plus Real Estate Alliance. And today we're going to do something a little bit different. It's going to be a fireside chat format. And we're lucky to have Jimmy Hendrickson and Shawn Layton, the Central Florida Homeboys, otherwise known as. They are also our Orlando, Florida Alliance chapter presidents. So I've gotten to know these guys over the past few years pretty well, and I consider them friends of mine. That being said, I'm going to try and not be partial and just ask some very real questions. It's been, I would say, a hell of a week, 2 weeks that you both have gone through. And the discussion today is really aimed around that journey, that experience, and we want to hear from you. So to provide some context, you guys, got a letter? What was the date?
We got it on
February 15th.
Yeah.
So February 15th, you got a letter, and it was from an anonymous person, correct? Any idea how you got the letter, how they got your address?
Well, it wasn't sent to our home address. It was sent to the office.
Gotcha.
Our office. We didn't pick it up till last week, but the letter was postmarked the 15th of February, which coincidentally was 2 days after we sent out our neighborhood newsletter. The letter was addressed to us, the Hometown Boys, which is not our correct name. So we kind of suspect that it came from someone in our neighborhood, but we're not totally confident on that. So,
gotcha. If you don't mind, I'm going to read the letter just to kind of enter it into the record as context, so to speak. The letter starts off, "Dear Hometown Boys," and I am not a professional actor by any means, so I'm not going to put inflection into this. I'm just going to read it for what it is. "Why in God's name are you promoting a public display of your homosexuality? It is so wrong on so many levels. How can you expect a normal person to respect your lifestyle? I know what you do to each other, and it is sick. And you expect a normal person to accept it? Not in a million years." She goes on, "Your parents must be so ashamed of you. You are both disgusting. A few years ago, I purchased a home through Keller Williams. I will, without a doubt, let my respectable friends know that KW, Keller Williams, promotes this disgusting lifestyle." And the sign off was gagging and signed Barbara. No idea who Barbara is.
No.
So let me ask, when you got this letter, you open it like it's a regular piece of mail. Walk me through that sequence of events, from when you opened it to when you realized what you were looking at to how you felt, how you reacted. What was the next step?
I opened the letter. Shawn wasn't with me, and it was kind of just like, I had read the first sentence, and I was kind of like, I kind of stopped and didn't continue, and was like, is this a joke? And I read it through the first time, and then kind of just stood there, and I had to read it several times before I could just believe what I was reading. I was just kind of shocked. I don't really know how to describe how I felt other than being shocked. And I, went and sat in the car and read it a couple more times before I left. And I didn't even call Shawn because he was back at home. I knew he had phone calls that he was doing. So I didn't want to distract him with all of that, but I did post it, which is not really like me. I'm not the Facebook poster. It's usually Shawn. But I was just kind of like, I felt like something like that needed to get out there for people to see that, this is still something that's happening every day, even in a city where we feel completely comfortable being ourselves.
Shawn, at what point did you know what was going on?
I got a text from a friend of ours asking if we were okay. And
it was literally, that was like within
minutes
of me posting that.
And I was like, yeah, I'm fine. Yeah, I don't know what you're talking about. Well, who's this barber person? I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about. The letter, I still don't know what you're talking about. I don't know. So at that point, Jimmy hadn't shared anything with me yet, but I'm starting to get calls and texts, and I was like, okay. So then I went to Facebook to look at his post, and then all of a sudden I'm seeing all these like comments and shares, and that's when I realized, wow. I called Jimmy right away, and I was like, what is going on? Like, where did this even come from? He picked it up from some random person that mailed it to our office. And like he said, we were just in complete shock to receive something like that here. It was a reality check for us. We are fortunate enough to live in a city where it's really a bubble. It's, a bubble for acceptance and inclusion. The city is, so welcoming and friendly. To get something so hateful really gave us a huge reality check that and we already knew. It just confirmed that, it still happens today in 2021. It's happening in every city. It's happening in our own backyard, even when, you feel like you're safe and surrounded by virtually everyone that is, inclusive. That's not necessarily always the case. So
is this the first time you have professionally dealt with this kind of hate discrimination?
Yes.
Yeah.
How about, go ahead, I'm sorry.
I was gonna say, we've been very fortunate to have a business where it's all sphere and network referral based. So the customers that we normally get are customers that have been referred to us, know us by reputation, know us personally, know us through a referral partner, friend, or family. So we have, the kind of that precursor to our business already, rather than having to sit down and do phone calls, having to search for the business. We are fortunate enough to have the business come our way. So this was really hurtful. Not only hurtful, but she didn't even take the time to research who we are, get to know us, see what we do, give back to the community. It was just pure hate to us. So
guys, is there another point in time in your life, high school, after that, where you have gone through an experience like this? Or was this your unfortunate introduction to that kind of malice?
For me, it really like brought up all those times in high school or, middle school. And that's really, probably the last time I've ever experienced something like that. And all it did was, it started to bring all that stuff back up. But I think we were quick to kind of overcome that.
Yeah. I think for both of us, we were bullied in school, like a lot of the LGBT young people, bullied in school. I think we felt it growing up, even in our adolescence and adult life. I don't think we've ever experienced anything like this, especially since going into business for ourselves.
Yeah.
But we grew up with it. We built thick skins. I've always been very confident in living authentically. And that all came from being, a lot of it came from being bullied as a kid, but I was always wanted to live the way I want to live, be who I am. And, I had a family that supported that. So while I may have gone through that in school, we were always able to go home to supportive families. And they were, they reached out during receiving the letter, and they were so supportive. And
I think that's another thing that really helps too. She mentioned that our, parents should be ashamed, but it's the
absolutely
complete
not.
opposite.
Yeah.
Which, just goes to show you that she doesn't know anything about us. She doesn't know anything about our families and how supportive they are. So I think,
Yeah, I have honestly very little interest in diving into the context of some of the bizarre things that she said.
Right.
However, I think I'm comfortable in saying that something triggered her. Hadn't happened to you before. It's obviously someone in your community. I'm under the impression, and correct me if I'm wrong, you guys sent out some kind of marketing campaign, and we think maybe that could have been a trigger for her. Was it an overtly LGBTQ, like in your face kind of ad?
No. We did send out a newsletter. So we bought a new house in July. We picked the house, we picked the neighborhood, and we picked the neighborhood. It's always been on our radar as one of our favorite neighborhoods in Orlando or in Winter Park. And we're fortunate enough to live in a neighborhood where everyone is so friendly and so inclusive. I mean, it doesn't matter if you're what race you are, what religion you are, what political stance you have. Everyone is so inclusive, right? Left, black, white. It doesn't matter. So we suspect we got the letter, which was a couple days after the newsletter went out. We've done one newsletter during Christmas. We did another one for Valentine's Day. We suspect that the marketing she's talking about in the letter is from the newsletter that we sent out. Unless she follows this on social media and actually went to our website, which is there's still really not even a lot on the website, or Googled us, she wouldn't really know anything about our relationship, us as a couple, us as business partners either. So the only thing left would be the newsletter.
Is that something you guys distribute via snail mail? Is that electronic? What does that look like?
It's regular mail, yeah.
Okay.
It's bulk mail. We send it out to over 600 homes.
So let's just play a game without getting too far down the rabbit hole here. You guys have a distribution list. Barbara might be an alias.
Might be.
Do you care? And do you have any interest in exploring? I mean, I would imagine if this person used their first name, you could probably identify them in your distribution list.
Well, we use a bulk direct mail with the U.S. Postal Service.
Gotcha. Okay.
So we don't have a list. I pick an area with the post office and they deliver it. So it's the same 664 homes every time we do the newsletter. So we just let the Postal Service just do their thing. Do we care? No, I don't care who she or he is. I care about, and I think we care about bringing this to light, making sure people know that it's still a thing that the LGBTQ plus community deals with and has to deal with, that we need to educate people on one person at a time, bring people together. And our focus has always been from the very beginning of getting the letter, and even in our business, just bring love and support and positivity to everyone every day. That's really what we're always about.
I'm fortunate. I've never been on that side of a letter like that. I've had some nasty run-ins with some hateful and just uneducated folks out there, but I've never received something like that. Walk me through the coping. So when you first got it, you were shocked. Did it have any impact on, and we're talking knee jerk, right? So the first things you thought, did it have any impact on your business model, your strategy? Did you rethink, are we too loud about this? Tell me about that.
Honestly, no. I honestly, I'm a fighter. I've always been a fighter. If you push me, I'm going to push back. And I would say if it affected anything, it just reinforced and made us realize that we're doing exactly what we should be doing. we're who we are, and we're celebrating who we are and those around us. That we're doing exactly what we should be doing, and we're going to keep doing that.
I love that about you guys, by the way. I have a lot of great things to say about you, but your tenacity is admirable.
It's kind of like, this is who we are, take it or leave it.
The way we market ourselves is no different than any other straight couple we've seen in our industry marketing themselves.
Correct.
It's no different. Other than that, we are a gay couple.
Yeah.
So let me ask you then, to that extent, it's been a few weeks now. Have you seen an impact on your business, either positive or negative, as a result of this?
Everything resulting from the letter has been positive. Everything, every single thing.
Mm-hmm.
And honestly, the only thing impact is probably our sanity from not having enough quality time together. But everything has been positive. The love, support we've received from the community across the country, people we don't know, reaching out, thanking us for just being who we are, being authentic, celebrating us as a couple. And, we couldn't ask for anything more, honestly. It's just been overwhelming, the outpouring of love that we've received. Love definitely outweighs hate, and it always will.
I feel like we've had more past customers calling us that the impression that they're more upset than we are over the whole thing, which is, to hear their passion for being so upset about the letters, it's great. It makes us, reminds us that we have their support 100%.
It's definitely, reminded us how strong our relationships are, and will be. And it's brought us new business as well. From a lot of couples, actually, a lot of couples reaching out to thank us and, potentially move to the area in the future and have asked for our assistance. So
I certainly don't have to tell or remind either of you, but for everyone else watching, I think there's a very obvious elephant in the room about this whole situation. In June of 2016, 49 folks, both members of our community and allies, lost their life in your community at the Pulse nightclub shooting. What is your reaction knowing that there are people that still harbor this kind of hate in that same community, even after that?
It's absolutely unacceptable, and we're not going to stand here and tolerate it. We're just not going to. And I know that we have the community to back us up.
Talk to me about that community. So you've heard from family, you've heard from friends. I know for a fact that you guys have had some media exposure with this. Talk to me about, just general community, maybe people you didn't know that you've heard from, if that's happened. I know that One Orlando Alliance down there is a huge powerhouse for advocacy. Talk to me a little bit about the community and what what kind of a community Orlando really is.
I don't see us living anywhere else because of the community we live in. There's so many organizations here that bring the community together. One Orlando Alliance, Pulse Foundation, come out with pride. We are a very close-knit city, kind of with a small town feel. We all love each other. We all respect each other. We're all inclusive across the board. LGBTQ plus and alliances and allies. We have always been a big supporter, and we've always been involved with the organizations, whether directly or just giving back. And I would say we are looking to create more partnerships in the future as well. I mean, the community is growing. We had, what, 60 to 70,000 people move to Orlando Metro last year alone. Our business is greatly impacted by the LGBTQ plus community, not only living here, but also those members of the community moving here and relocating here. We do a lot of relocations. They're looking for a city and community that is accepting and inclusive of them being their authentic selves. And we're fortunate enough to be able to welcome them into a city that is absolutely that 100%.
I know we're running up on the bottom of the half hour here. Is there a message, or what's the lesson in all of this? Speaking directly to other Alliance members, if someone in another geography goes through something like this, what advice do you have?
Take it in, reflect, and react and give back with a sense of contribution. Progress doesn't happen without the passionate people behind it. And I think all of us coming together, reacting in numbers, will push that progress forward. Just support and love and give back with love, no matter how hateful it is.
And I would say don't let it change what you're doing or the person that you are, and let it make you feel afraid to be yourself.
Yeah. Never stop being yourself.
Jimmy, if Barbara is out there and by chance she stumbles upon this video someday, or if she's watching us live right now, we're broadcasting to over 50 chapters throughout the country. Do you have anything to say to her?
I know it's going to sound strange, but I would thank her for reminding us that, we've come a long way, but that we still have a lot of work left to do. And that, as nasty as that letter was, it was a great reminder of that. We're not going to change her mind, but I think turning it into, a positive way to her will just show her that it's not going to affect us. I don't know.
We're happy to have a conversation with her.
That's interesting. What would that conversation look like?
I would say it would be based on educating her on who we are. And that's it. It's just who we are. She's obviously has had something happen in her life that has fueled this hate. I want to be able to help her realize that there's no hate needed. So it's just, don't judge people based on hate, based on anything, honestly, just give us a chance to learn and listen.
It is, in my opinion, that someone who harbors that much negative emotion, that much hate, it must be a real burden. And I truly sympathize for folks that have to go through that experience living with themselves with that much hate.
Yeah.
I think you nailed it. Education is the key. As you both know, we're all here happily waiting for the opportunity to continue to educate folks who are interested in learning.
Yes.
I would be sadly remiss if I didn't point out that between the pair of you and us at the Alliance, we have heard from some absolute powerhouse figures in the industry. on this specific event with very strong condemnation, including our friend Bob Goldberg, the CEO of NAR. We've heard from the good folks at Florida Realtors, at Orlando Regional Realtors. I know Keller Williams made a very clear statement that they support you and our community. And certainly the Alliance has your back, the backs of all of the LGBTQ plus members and allies and organizations like ours and the community at large. I hate ending things on serious or negative notes. So one final question before we wrap. I know you guys pretty well, so I know the answer, but for those folks in the audience right now, or those folks watching who are looking at you thinking those are the sharpest two damn bow ties I've ever seen. What's the story? What's going on there?
Oh, okay. So the story with the bow tie is when we were studying to get our real estate license, I found these wooden bow ties in a boutique over near here. And I brought one home and I said, Jimmy, these are going to be our lucky closing bow ties. So we're going to wear them at all the closings. Well, I started wearing it more than just at closings. And
And when he says more than just at closings, he means every day.
So I noticed it was getting a lot of attention, starting a lot of conversations. So that's kind of where it evolved. It was an instant conversation starter. No matter where I went, people wanted to know where I got the bow ties, what the bow ties were about. So it evolved into our brand. It evolved into our logo. And now it's part of our uniform. So now it grew from 1 to about 20 or so wooden bow ties. And they're actually all made locally here in Orlando. And you can buy them on Etsy if you wanted to buy them. Maybe we should actually start our own.
I think we should not tell people that.
Yeah.
Well, guys, thank you. Thank you for the time today. I'm going to go out on a limb here and I'll share with you. And I don't know that I've ever told you, but when I met both of you several years ago, I was with my husband to be, but we were not married. And I have to genuinely tell you that though your personal life is no one's business, it is an inspiration to a lot of us. And I personally hold both of you in very high regard. Your relationship is beautiful. And it gave me some comfort and confidence knowing that, I suppose, what they call gay marriage, right?
Yeah.
Equality in marriage can be visible, can be dignified, can be beautiful. And you guys are really a prime example of that. So kudos to you. Please keep being who you are. I wish you nothing but the best. And thank you again for joining us this afternoon.
Thank you. We really appreciate the opportunity and appreciate your friendship and the partnership of the Alliance.
Bye, guys. Take care.
Bye.
Bye.